Hey family, remember that time when you were driving heading somewhere or you were the passenger and in an effort to gain time you decided to take a shortcut? And when you almost got to the end of that road, you drove up to a dead end. Yeah, I've been there. The exasperation and frustration you feel knowing that the only way to get back on course is to head all the way back to that point where you turned off just to get back on track. And as a consequence, you lost precious minutes, even hours, and you end up worse off for taking that shortcut. The truth, my friends, is that many of us are taking shortcuts in our approach to life. And if we would be honest with ourselves, we would admit that oftentimes we end up worse off, especially when we find ourselves in dead-end situations. Dead-end relationships, dead-end marriages, dead-end jobs, dead-end career decisions. And then somewhere down the road in life, we become frustrated and angry with other people, blaming them for the situations that we find ourselves in when we are the ones who made the decisions in the first place. Why? Because at that time, it appeared to be right. The easiest way out to save time or to save money. You know, I can't help but think of the echo of the wisdom of God in Proverbs chapter 14 and 16, where it says the exact same thing in both places, a reverberation for us to consider. It says that there is a way that appears to be right, but in the end, it leads to death. My friends, we ought to see this phrase leads to death as a continuum, a sequence or progression that ultimately ends in death. And so along this continuum, there could be failure in a relationship, failure in health, failure in a marriage, closure of a business, and ultimately the death of a person. Listen, many years ago, I took a shortcut with a job I was doing for a client. And I did what I thought appeared to be right at the time. You see, I bought cheaper materials to do the job, thinking that it would save me money and increase my profit margin. And when the job was done, it looked exquisite, beautifully and wonderfully made. The client was satisfied and happy with the project. But 6 months later, termites had eaten out all of the wood from the inside out, because when I ought to have done the job using treated materials, I didn't. And I had to do the job all over again out of pocket. And I ended up in a much worse position financially than when I first finished the job. I know perhaps many of you are saying it served you right. You know what is true? I learned my lesson. But a more disastrous and prevalent reality is the fact that many of us are living our lives doing what appears to be right in our own eyes, living in ways that offer many options and require few sacrifices. Easy choices, my friends. You see, but easy choices, however, should make us take a second look and ask ourselves, is this solution attractive because it allows me to be lazy? Because it doesn't ask me to change my lifestyle, or because it requires no moral restraints from me? You see, I know many of us are like the partridge who hatches eggs it didn't lay, not being mindful of the fact that those who gain riches by unjust means, that when half of their lives are gone, their riches desert them, and in the end, they are proven fools, deceived by their own hearts. You see, because the heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked, who can know it? But I've come to tell you, my friends, that the Lord knows. He is the one that searches and examines the minds and tests the hearts. You see, but oftentimes we would rather trust in science and in the wisdom of men than to trust in God. But blessed is the one who trusts in the Lord, my friends, whose confidence is in Him. They will be like a tree planted by the water that sends out its roots by the stream. You see, it doesn't fear when heat comes, and its leaves are always green. It has no worries in the year of drought or in the year of the pandemic, and it never fails to bear fruit. This is God's promise to those who choose the right way. You see, right choices often requires hard work and self-sacrifices, my friends. You see, but the wrong way and bad decisions can take us months, years, and even a lifetime to correct and get back on track if we are lucky. So, my friends, let us not be enticed by the apparent shortcuts that seems right, but in the end, it leads to death. Dead ends. You see, everything that is yellow is not butter, and everything that glitters is not gold. My friend, I want to hear from you. Just drop a comment in the comment section below and let's start a conversation. And please don't forget to subscribe to the channel so that we can level up in the Lord. This is Jakes from John J Ministries. God bless you and see you next week.